Everybody, happy Wednesday, you know what I mean? It is the Ramage Pick'em show, you know what I mean? Where we're going to be doing all of our picks for the next week. And want to say what's up, everyone tuning in live, you know what I mean? Shout out to Karen over here. She said, shout out to the producer, Vince, you know what I mean? We're going to get this thing started. Pick some NFL games for this week. The Packers obviously don't play. But before we get into this whole thing, big shout out to the sponsors of the show. Big shout out to Quick Trip, you know what I mean? You come and do a game this season, you're going to want to head over to Quick Trip. They have all the things that you need for tailgating, for anything that you need. You need something to eat. They got the hot spot. They got the ice for the tailgates. They got the cheese curds. They got the cheese. They got the brats. They got all that you need, you know what I mean? And then also big shout out to Nick Lay Law if you get injured. Insurance companies are being flaky with you. Maybe you're missing work. Nick Lay Law is going to make sure you get what you're due. You know what I mean? And fantastic lawyer. Best lawyer in Wisconsin probably. A lot of award winnings. A lot of award winning over there, Nick Lay Law. So I'll shout out to them. And also, quick chat, but here we go. What is up, Karen? She says, go, Pat, go. Hammer the chat, and we're going to go through some of these games. You know, we already talked about the Packers-Cowboys game enough. If people want to talk about it, hammer the chat. We'll talk whatever we want to talk about. But, you know what I mean? We're going to get into this thing. And also, be sure, if you're watching live or watching later on YouTube or wherever, you subscribe to the Matt Ramage Show podcast. And if you're probably listening to this on the podcast, maybe, go subscribe on YouTube, you know what I mean? But let's get into it there, Vince, you know what I mean? Let's bring up the first game of that we got here. We got San Francisco 49ers, and we have the Rams. This is going to be an absolute good game. I'm going to try to check out some of these matchups over here, over on the app, kind of see where they're ranked a little bit. I'll run through a few of them because this is a big game for the NFC. The Niners are 5th in total yards. On defense, the Rams are 9th, so that's kind of going to be like a good matchup there. You know, good offense versus good defense. They're second in passing yards. Niners are 28th in rushing yards, though, so they're not really good at running the ball. They got some injury stuff. They lost last week. The Niners are 5th on total yards on defense, so they got themselves a defense over there. They're in the top 10 in everything except for stopping the run. So not really good at run the ball. Not good at stop and run. But the Rams are a team everyone's talking about. You know. They are on offense 4th in total yards, 3rd in passing yards, 13 in rushing yards, and in points they're 13. So the Rams are going to be a problem this year. I feel like for everyone. I'm picking the Rams in that game. I believe I picked the Rams. Let me go back here and look. I picked the Rams, but I don't like the 49ers. I ain't gonna lie.
That is a good pick too because Brock Purdy is out tomorrow for San Francisco.
Yeah, I thought there was some injury stuff that I remember, and they lost Bosa too, like right away early in the season. They have some bad luck with injuries. Packer fans talk about the bad luck with injuries, but the Niners have been having that too. So, So we got Kyle over here. He says, I can say with confidence the Packers will not lose this week. And we got Flex Dex in the building. Yo, what's good, Matt? Just got my notification. Go Pack Go. I didn't know people got notifications for last year. So I'm glad you did. And if you could set that up, be sure to get notified. But yeah, I'm taking the Rams in this one. Let's keep her moving over here. You know what I mean? What do we got next on the list over here? We have ourselves the Minnesota Vikings and the Browns. So I got the Vikings in this one. 83% of the folks on CBS land, CBS Sports, have the Vikings as well. I mean, the Browns are 1-3. Everyone's talking about where that one came from. Beat the Packers. The Vikings are 2-2. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. It's the Browns. I feel like, I don't like talking about this game because the Packers lost the Browns. That's all anyone talks about. But I think the Vikings win this game. Where they got Wentz starting at quarterback. The Vikings are a good football team. Like the quarterback is like the one spot where everyone talks about that. Whatever. I'm gonna keep it moving because I don't care about this game. You know what I mean? I hope the Browns win. That's what I'll say. I hope the Browns win. But I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to be talking in situations where I got to pump up the Vikings. I'm not doing that. We got the Texans and we got the Ravens next. You know what I mean? So this is the good one right here. The Ravens are 1-3, and they're a good football team. The Texans are 1-3, and they're not really a good football team. I think that's kind of like how everyone kind of views these teams, right? So let's run down a few of these things. We got on defense, though. The Ravens, who are all, usually known for like a, top defense, like they're kind of a defense historically team, right? They're allowing 406.8 yards a game. They're 31st in the NFL in total yards on defense. They're 29th in passing yards. They're 27th in rushing yards. They're 32nd in points allowed. The Ravens defense is absolute garbage. That's kind of like where the Cowboys defense looked last week, and they gave up 40 points. You know what I mean? I'm whatever. I got to get into that. But the Texans on offense, they're 25th in total yards. They're 22nd in passing yards, 23rd in rushing yards, 29th in points. So like these are two like a bad offense taking on a bad defense. So this thing could get messy. But the Texans on defense aren't horrible. They're 5th in total yards. So they're 8th in passing
Remember,
yards.
Jackson is out 2 to 3 weeks too.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Lamar not playing. So the Ravens are going to get absolutely. Dude, I'm switching. I forgot about that. Let me go back. I just switched my pick. I forgot all about that. Lamar he's my fantasy quarterback. I had to go get Tua for fantasy. But yeah, I think the Ravens are going to get swamped. If I remember that from the get, I probably wouldn't have talked about this so much. But there you go. There's my expert analyst for this. But I think the Ravens are going to lose with no Lamar. We're gonna see like what they got. I took a look because I was gonna pick up the backup in Baltimore. I forget who it is now. Do you remember who that is, Vince? But I looked at him and didn't look real impressive. So I went and got Tua for fantasy and yeah. But the Ravens are gonna lose that game. You know what I mean?
I honestly don't remember who it is.
Yeah, and I looked at it up. You know what I mean? And I forget who it was, but even the fantasy, like their like little bio they got, they're like, yeah, this ain't good. It's not good. All right, so let's keep it moving over here. Now we're gonna have we have the Dolphins at the Panthers. All right, so the Dolphins at the Panthers. Now I got Tua in fantasy, so I'm gonna need him to do some stuff. But the Panthers are a bad football team, right? So I'm not gonna talk too much about this. But just know that the Panthers on offense, they're ranked 24th. Basically on average 24th in all offensive categories on 24, 23, 26, 26. And the Dolphins defense also near the end on everything. So this is going to be another one of those games that two not so good teams are battling it out. And I hope Tua balls out because he's my fantasy quarterback. But the Panthers, they're not, I don't think anyone's caring about anything about them. You know what I mean? What is the Panthers? You know what I mean? I feel like both these teams are teams right now outside of these fan bases. No one cares about what these teams are doing. You know what I mean? So let's keep it moving over here. What else we got over here? Hammer the chat too if you got any other stuff you want to talk about, whatever. We will. I'll try to get some. Get to some of that. We got the Raiders at the Colts. All right, so the Colts are kind of a surprising team this year. The Colts are a team, 97% of CBS land thinks the Colts are going to win that. And it says the spread is 7. So I'm assuming that's Colts by 7 because I'm not really good at reading the spread. That plus minus stuff throws me off, you know what I mean? But yeah, I believe the Colts by 7. Obviously, the Colts defense, not ranking wise, not real impressive. They're 8th against the rushing yards, but everything else they're kind of in the middle a little bit. But on offense, total yards 3rd, passing yards 4th, rushing yards 8th, points 4th. And the Raiders are what you expect, kind of the middle of the pack and after. So like the Colts have a good start, and they're 3-1. Raiders are 1-3. But I feel like the Colts are a team people really didn't expect because Daniel Jones is over there doing this thing over there, right? So like I think Giants fans got to be like, what's going on with that? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think everyone's taking the Colts in that. 97% of the people from CBS. Travis said, "Are you using CBS for picks?" Yeah, I got a pick'em league over on CBS Sports. That's why I'm looking at over there. But all right, let's keep our moving over here. let's keep her moving on. So then we have next we have the Giants, 1-3 Giants at the Saints, who are 0-4. So this is another game of who cares. You know what I mean? Like 71% of the people in CBS land think that the Giants win, but I feel like that's just like they're 1-3, they're 0-4, so let's pick them. But yeah, I think the Giants are going to win this game, but I don't think people care too much over here. But let's get to a few comments over here. Not sure if you covered the Rams game yet, but I'll be wearing my Davante Adams Rams jersey for the game on Sunday. But I also might wear his Packers jersey too. Just haven't decided yet. Yeah, dude, Rams are doing it over there. Davante Adams, I don't know his like stats exactly, but I've seen some clips over there. Him getting after it. So shout out to Davante Adams. You know what I mean?
And Jesse, just to correct you, the Rams are playing tomorrow, and we are covering that game. Yeah. It's a 49ers Rams.
Yeah, we are doing the live stream for that. So tune in tomorrow night for the Thursday night watch party. It's going to be a good one right there. You know what I mean? Kevin said, Giants favored. See you can get some love from them now so they can be nice when you're there. Yeah, we're going to New York, you know, so I ain't trying to disappoint or irritate Giants fans. They might just stumble upon me, you know what I mean? I don't need that in my life. So shout out to the Giants. Hopefully they get that thing. This week anyways. Iowa Joe says, wow, was that the voice of God? It was, dude. Every now and again it's got to come through and make some corrections, you know what I mean? All right, so let's move on to the next game. What do we okay, we got the Cowboys at the Jets, you know. Cowboys they're still celebrating that tie. You know what I mean? It's funny because I made that video about the Cowboys celebrating the tie, and everyone was like, "No, we're not. We're mad." But then every time I turn on TV, even that they're talking about it. Like Skip Bayless, he's like, "I consider this a win." Jerry Jones is like, "Well, we didn't lose, and they have Mike, and we have what we have." And all the comments, as soon as the game ended, they're all coming in. Like, what now? You said we were gonna get blown out, but it was a tie. Like, all right, congratulations, I guess. You know what I mean? You're still like 0-6-1 against the Packers in your own stadium. You know what I mean? But congratulations, I guess. But yeah, I guess I don't hate for Cowboys, you know, or their fans. But I'm telling you, yeah, I talked a little bit, and it ended up being a tie, and they tried trolling. I'm a troll back, baby. That's what I do. But all right, so let's talk about this game a little bit. 90% of CBS land thinks the Cowboys are going to win it. It's the Jets. They're 0-4. So yeah, and the Cowboys are on a high. They're 1-2-1. A pretty ferocious team over there in Dallas. So I expect them to win, but so let's see what he said. He says going for that Jets upset, dude. That would be beautiful. Like, because all the emotion of that game, maybe they come out and they lay flat because they did play up. Dak Prescott played out of his mind. Dak Prescott had a good game. So, and I have no hate for Dak Prescott. I actually like Dak Prescott. But you know, he plays for the Cowboys, so what's he going to do? But yeah, start Justin Fields. Yeah, if you can get Justin Fields in fantasy, I'm gonna look into that. Is he available? I'm gonna check that out as soon as the stream's over. Because if he is, I'm gonna grab him, drop Tua. But yeah, so yeah, I think the Cowboys win big in that one. Let's keep her moving over there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Philly Boy over here in the chat, though, and Jesse and everyone who's tuning in live. The next one, we have the Broncos and we have the Eagles. I want to see what Jesse's saying first. I don't like the Cowboys, but I also don't like the Jets either. That's tough to pick. Yeah, my dislike for the Cowboys is real long. It's like, dude, since the 90s. I haven't liked the Cowboys. Like, I was ahead of the game. You know, I feel like I was hating the Cowboys before, you know, everyone. And, you know, Cowboy fans love to tell you, everyone hates us. But then like, people pick against them, they get so mad. Well, I thought you liked that everyone hates you. You know what I mean? But anyways, here we go. Broncos, Eagles. Eagles are going to smack the crap out of them. Eagles are rolling. You know what I mean? They're 4-0. The Broncos are 2-2. They were the doubleheader on Monday night. I didn't watch that whole thing. I kind of watched it side by side a little bit. But 93% of the CBS Sportsland says the Eagles are going to win this one. You know what I mean? And let's just throw some of the rankings real quick. The Broncos actually, you know, offensively, not bad. They're 9th on total yards, 18th passing yards, 5th on rushing yards, 16th in points. Eagles, you know, surprisingly, they're not really towards the top on defense. Total yards are 22nd, 14th in passing yards. Rushing yards are 21st, and the points they're 15th. So I don't know if you just looked at the rankings, not the scores and like what these teams are, because like even on offense, the Eagles says they're 30th in total yards, 32nd in passing yards. Rushing yards are 16th and the points are 7th. So how are they scoring all these points? If they're like, yeah, they're not good at the pass, not particularly that great at the run either, but they can score some points. You know what I mean? And their defense doesn't look like lights out. So we'll see. But the Eagles are obviously a good football team. But just looking at rankings tonight really doesn't tell the whole picture. But that's all we're going off today. You know what I mean? But so I got the Eagles winning that game. Let's see if anyone's we got Kevin says Vince is God in Green Bay. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, Vince. But we call him Vinny over here. But yeah, Vince, Vince Lombardi. But that's not what we were going with when we named him. I think the Broncos will give them a run for their money. You know what I mean? I'd like to see it. I think the Eagles are a good team. Eagles are a team they're gonna be a problem. Obviously, come playoff time, they're the team. They're the team in the NFC until someone else knocks them off. But right now, undefeated. You know what I mean? But Mark says Eagles receivers complaining due to lack of production. I expect a big day for the wideouts. All right, there you go. It's some inside information. All right, so let's keep it moving. We're going to go on to what do we got next over here? We got the Titans, who are like a who cares team. You know what I mean? I don't know why I have such disrespect for the Titans, but I don't care at all about the Titans. I'm not sure people in Tennessee care about the Titans all that much. They're 0-4. 3% of the people in CBS Sports Land picked the Titans to win this game. And I assume that's like, if everyone in Tennessee picked them, they'd probably be higher than that. But it's 3%. 97% of people say Arizona's going to win this game. Arizona is 2-2. I watched some Arizona games this year. I think Arizona's kind of like hit or miss, but not particularly impressive anywhere. I mean, they are 8th in rushing yards. Everything else, they're not good at all. 6th in points, so they're throwing up some points. But the Titans are just 31st, 29th, 30th, just trash on offense. Defense, 25th, 20th, 28th, 28th. Like, just not good, not impressive, not what you care about. This game will, this is the game. I mean, is this probably not the who cares game of the week? Because I think that probably earlier we should start that every week. Have a who cares game of the week where we pick the game that people care the least amount about. Even people who live in those communities, they're wishing it got blacked out. You know what I mean? Arizona going to win, he says. Yeah, I think so. And probably going to win big too. Cards on their 3 running back now. But I feel like the Cards, like, they feel like they are that team. If you watch them play, like, I feel like that they think, they're trying to step up. Now you're playing a trash Titans team. Like, you're supposed to go out here and ball out. So I expect them to give it all they got and try to do something. But I don't think, Arizona's not a team that, I'm too worried about whatever. But let's keep it moving over here. We have a better game coming up here. We have the Buccaneers, who are 3-1, taking on the Seattle Seahawks, who are also 3-1. So this is kind of a toss-up game. 43% of CBS Sportsland says Bucs are going to win it. 57 say the Seahawks are going to win it. I got the Bucs winning this game. Baker Mayfield's fun to watch play football. I think he's like one of the more fun quarterbacks to watch. Now, I'm good with my quarterback, but just like watching like another team. Baker's fun to watch, and their offense is, they're kind of middle of the pack. They're like basically average middle of the pack. 15th in total yards, 16th in passing yards, 10th in rushing yards, and 14th in points. So that's like pretty much straight down the middle. But the Seahawks defense, they're 13th in total yards, 19th in passing, 6th in rushing yards, and 2nd in points. So there we go. And the Bucs defense, 4th in total yards. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but they're 5th in rushing yards. So I believe that this is going to be a close game, but I think the Bucs win. I think the Bucs. I don't know. They're a fun offense to watch, and I don't care. Screw the Seahawks. You know what I mean? That's what I got to say about that. But Jesse says, ever since Arizona lost the best defensive player, their team for retirement, J.J. Watt, they haven't been good since then. Yeah, they're not. Yes, too impressive. But here we go. He says Bucs by 3. Yeah, I think the Bucs are going to win this game. I do think it'll be close. I think the Seahawks are good matchup for them. But I like what the Bucs are doing. I mean, I don't like it because come playoff time, I hope the bad things happen for them. But right now, they're looking good. Let's keep her moving over here. You know what I mean? The next one, I think we are live streaming for this game. This is going to be the Lions at the Bengals. And this game we're going to be live streaming for on Sunday. So come hang out with us. There's no Packer game. So we're going to be live streaming for this game. But the Lions at Bengals. The Lions, obviously, Packers beat them week 1. People like to forget about that, but they did. And the Bengals are the next team the Packers play. So it'll be interesting. But obviously, they got some injuries over there. They got Joe Burrow hurt. The Bengals are 2-2. I can't imagine they're going to win a bunch more games. until Joe Burrow comes back. I don't know the situation. People are saying Christmas. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back at all if their record is bad. But the Lions are 3-1. We all remember where that one came from, right? And the Lions are getting after, though, offensively. They're 6th in total yards, 13th in passing, 6th in rushing yards, 1st in points. So the Lions' offense is getting after. Their defense kind of middle of the pack in a lot of areas. 12th in total yards, 18th in passing yards, 7th in rushing yards, and 15th in the points. And the Bengals are just pretty much 30th through 27th, 27th, 26th in all the areas. So the Bengals are just not a good football team without Joe Burrow. I'm not sure what they were with him, but the Bengals are not a good football team right now. The Lions should win by 35. Lions by 35, he said. So, I think that the Lions win big, and I think the Packers play them next, and the Packers are going to do the same thing to them. You know what I mean? Especially coming off a bye, but we have a lot of time to talk about that. But let's keep it moving over here. We got the Commanders, the Washington Commanders. This is going to be at the same time at the Chargers. All right, and let's see what we got over here. 91% of the CBS land thinks that the Chargers will win. Yeah, the Chargers are a good football team. They're 3-1. They're like top 10 in every major defensive category except for rushing yards. They're 16th. Everywhere else they're 3rd, 6th, 4th. You know what I mean? So their defense is getting after it. And offensively, they're top. They're in 8th total yards, 5th in passing yards, 21st in running it, and 20th in points. So their offense can get it done. And the Washington, their offense, not that all impressive except for rushing yards. They're getting after in rushing yards and points. So stop the run over there, and you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? So, but who did I pick? I picked the Chargers in this game. Who do you got? Let me know. You know what I mean? But I'm taking the Chargers. He said he's taking the Chargers by 10. But yeah, I think that'll be a good football game. But I think is Jaden Daniels hurt? I think that he's still hurt. He got hurt during that Packer game. So I don't know if he'll be back or what the deal is with him. I think that I don't know if that changes it, especially coming back off an injury. I still think the Chargers handle it, but I do think Washington, they're doing the right things. They're going to be good. I mean, obviously they went to the playoffs last year. They got Preston Smith over there. They're making good decisions. You know what I mean? He said Washington can be deceptive. Yeah, I think that they're a team that's good enough to win, week to week. So we will see. But let's get moving over here. We have ourselves the Patriots, who are 2-2, taking on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. 97% of CBS land thinks Buffalo's going to win this game. Buffalo is a team that everyone's talking about. Buffalo is like that. They were like the Packers were the first 2 weeks. Everyone's hyping them up. The Buffalo Bills just kept it moving over here. They're favored to win by 8. And they're having a good year, dude. They're first in passing yards, but they are 31st in rushing yards, and I know that because I have James Cook on my fantasy team. No, he's been doing all right for me, but they're 31st. But that's defensively. That I was reading that wrong. My fault. So on defense, they're 31st in rushing yards. That doesn't really make sense because James Cook has been getting after it for me. But here we go. Passing yards, they are first on defense, so they're not letting people pass on them. Offensively, total yards, they are 2nd. Passing yards, they are 7th. Yeah, rushing yards, they are 1st. So that's quite the difference right there. I was like, as James Cook's been getting after it. And just this whole offense, you see the highlight reel, you know what I mean? They're 2nd in points. So they're 2nd, 7th, 1st, and 2nd, all major categories on offense. And the Patriots are not. You know what I mean? They're on offense. What do they got? They're like middle. The highest ranking is 8th in passing yards. But they are good at stopping a run. They're 2nd in stopping a run. So we're gonna see. 2nd in stopping a run versus the first rushing offense. You know what I mean? We're gonna see what happens there. But the Bills are gonna stomp them out. That's. He said Buffalo by 3, but I think the Bills stomp. I think the Bills win by like 17. If not more. Bills are going to kick Pats. Yes, 35-10. All right. Oh yeah. I agree. I thought for some reason in my head it came out the other way. But yeah, I think the Bills are going to win huge. They are going to win huge. What else Heath got going on here? He said it's going to be closer than everyone thinks. I think. All right. We shall see. I feel like that's like the one game this season, this week that we can say is going to be one-sided, you know what I mean? But we'll see. The Chiefs now, let's keep moving. This is Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, are you ready? We'll be live streaming for this, you know what I mean? It's going to be the Chiefs going to Jacksonville. The Jags are 3-1. Chiefs are 2-2. Now imagine this at the beginning of the season, people telling you this is what's going to be the situation. All right, we're gonna have the Chiefs 2-2, Jaguars 3-1, and I think what is it? The spread is 3.5. I don't know the minus and pluses. They confuse me sometimes. But the Chiefs minus 3.5. I got to start remembering that. You know what I mean? I never remember what the. I'm not a really good gambling person, but here we go. The Chiefs. You know, I would say never bet against the Chiefs. I think I got to see who I picked the Chiefs to win this game. The Chiefs offense though, total yards 16th, passing yards 12th. Rushing yards 19th, points 14th. So like middle of the pack, not real impressive. On defense, kind of the same. They're 7th in passing yards, but you know everything else. They're 8th in points on defense. But the Jags, you know, they're 4th in stopping the run. They're 5th in points, and you know, so I don't know. I wouldn't say like crazy, like scary, but I mean, the Jags can obviously win. They're 3-1. I just have a feeling that that the Chiefs are going to pop back. The Chiefs are kind of getting embarrassed a little bit. Kind of really don't look good like what they want, but we'll see. Jets said Jags by 14, and that's probably like the smart move. But I feel like by me picking the Chiefs, it's kind of like in my head, my memory. I just feel like kind of like back in those Patriot days, like when they weren't like starting off good or they weren't playing real good. I never like to bet against them because they always like find a way. You know what I mean? So he said, don't sleep on the Jags. Yeah, I'm not saying the Jags are bad. I just feel like the Chiefs, they're not going to let themselves fall that far in the hole. You know what I mean? But we're going to see. I think the Jags can definitely do it. And Aaron pops in here with a random go pack go, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean? All right, so let's keep it rolling. So that was Monday night. Go pack go. Yeah, so that's all my picks.
That's
so
all.
That was Monday Night Football. Sunday Night Football is the Patriots Bills game. You know what I mean? And we will be doing the Lions Bengals game, like I said. So I'm excited about that. You know what I mean?
And we do have a little preview for tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Show let them know. Yeah, so tomorrow, San Francisco, Rams. It's going to be a good game. Thursday night football. Play-by-play, you know what I mean? It's a nice commercial, you know. Vinny, the producer, put together. We call him Vinny now. You know, I like Vinny better than Vince.
Hey.
And that's a stereotype, and it's offensive.
And
Tony
tune
Soprano.
in definitely on Monday night for the Chiefs. Vinny may have something special for all the viewers out there because the Chiefs are playing.
Yeah. Come hang out with us tomorrow, Thursday night, and then Sunday, Lions, Bengals. Then we'll be doing Monday Night Football, and on Friday night we're gonna try to have some like game night situation. We're gonna be figuring some stuff out. We've been talking about it, so come hang out. We got some fun live streams coming, baby. You know what I mean? And also the podcast. Subscribe to the Matt Ramage Show. Apple, Spotify, all the places that you listen. But we got some more comments over here. Jesse said, when the Chiefs lose, it's a great day. Maybe Travis Kelce retires at the end of the year and takes crybaby Mahomes with him. Tell us how you really feel, Jesse. I don't really have hate for like the Chiefs like that, but I get it. People, that's kind of how it is. Like when the Patriots were doing their thing, when you're like that team, people get sick of listening to you, get sick of looking at it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Carrot. Go Pack Go. She says, thank you for the show. I always have fun doing these. You know what I mean? Shout out to the producer Vince, and we got to give him a round of applause, right? You know, putting all this thing together for us. So shout out to Vince. Shout out to everyone who has participated in the live chat, and hopefully you're part of the Pick'em League. I am in 115th place. So I should have had that ready. Let me see if I can go up to the league here. Let me see if I can do this decently fast. I don't think I can, but next week we'll go through all the rankings and stuff. Find out who's in first place. But I'm in 115th place. Steve Vinny, the producer, he's tied for first. We got some good people. Brett Hansen, I remember that name from the list, so shout out to him. I'm at 115th though, so don't take my advice. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Go Pack Go, and see you Thursday Night Football. Come hang out with us, and shout out to the sponsor of the show, Quick Trip, Nick Law, and I appreciate everyone who tuned in live. We are out. Go Pack Go.